Welcome, everyone. You are watching the H2G podcast, and I want to introduce you to the fam. We got Justin Duvall, Richie Phillips, Christy, Chelsea, and Tony. Great to see y'all today. And our special guest today, our artist spotlight. It is Monday. She is special, Kelsey Sheppard. Thank you for coming on the show today. How you doing, Kelsey?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on to the show. For all of you that don't know Kelsey is an actress and a singer based out of New York City. Right now, you said you are in Dykeman. You're in Inwood right now, and
I'm in Inwood.
Coming up. You're in Inwood.
It is quiet uptown sometimes, where there's lots of dancing.
Yeah, it is packed and a lot of dancing. Kelsey, we just want to thank you for coming on the show today and spending some time with us. I know it's been rough during the pandemic and all here in the city, but how have you been coping and how have you managed to get past all these obstacles COVID-19's put in the way of you?
Oh man, I mean, it's been quite honestly the strangest year of my entire life. I feel grateful. I'm a native New Yorker, so my folks are here. So I've been able to sort of, they don't do much inside because I've been working on and off, but we see each other outside. So I try to see my friends outside when I can. And honestly, I really have been clinging to all of the artistic communities that I have virtual access to. So I have a group of folks that I meet with every Sunday, and we read people's new pilots, people's new plays. I have an open mic that I used to go to in person that I go to virtually. And, whenever there's any kind of virtual work, which I've been fortunate to have a little bit of, I just cherish it. And yeah, trying to stay sane, trying to stay creative and keep doing as much normalcy, as many normal things as we can.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, in the city, we lost a lot, especially for all of us actors. And it was definitely tough. And so what have you missed the most, before the pandemic hit, before all the productions were shut down? What have you missed the most?
I think it's interesting because I miss having projects to look forward to. I miss even, because we all do whatever we do when we're not working on a piece or on a show, or we don't have, a set that we're headed to in 3 days.
Right.
And there's that drive of like, I know this is coming and, I'm going to go do whatever I do on the side, but I know that I have that audition. Oh, I know I have that contract in 2 weeks. And the absence of that has really, I've had to dig in a lot to like, wow, how do you stay motivated and stay excited and stay, faithful, I guess, that something is on the horizon, that, to stay in touch, which again is why I'm clinging to all of my creative friends and communities. And, even if it's just like, I'm going to run through my book today in my room, or I'm going to shoot something on a Zoom with a buddy and then we'll do it like scene work. All of that's really, really important. I miss having something to look forward to.
Yeah, I totally feel you. For all of you that don't know out there, Kelsey and I met at the School of Visual Arts and we were freelance actors. So Kelsey is one of the first people I've ever worked with in my 6 years being here. And I got to tell you, Kelsey, it's been amazing working with you. And speaking of working with you, congratulations on your recent film, Family Pride. We heard that you were nominated for Best Actress in a short film.
I was, yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to backtrack and say you're fantastic, Marvin. And I love every time we get to work together. And I'm looking forward to when we get to work together on a project that's not at SVA.
Yeah.
Let's make something. Let's do that. This is
most definitely
writing and creating. Family Pride. I actually shot that with a really wonderful person, Bernie Torres. 2 years ago, I think we shot. Almost 3 now. No, about 2. It was November. It's a wonderful story about a young woman who is trying to come out to her friends and family and has decided to make a one-woman show to do that with. And it's a bit of it's a fun journey. within it. I don't want to spoil it. It's so short, but yeah, I was really touched that they liked it too.
That's amazing. Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing it. If you let us, I know you don't want to spoil it, but I want to open up the floor. I don't want to hog it. Richie, you got anything for Kelsey?
Yeah, I mean, Kelsey, I just have the basic question. How did you get into acting? Like, what was your passion and drive to start that?
I think I've always really loved it. My dad worked, he wasn't predominantly working as an actor when I was young. He kind of got back into it when I got a little bit older. But, I have two creative parents. My mother is a visual artist. My dad is also an actor and singer and dancer. So I had this really supportive environment, and I just always was sort of drawn to it, especially with singing. I would take my parents' the super 90s, cassette. They almost look like really old school voicemail machines. And I would put whatever used cassette that they gave me, and I would just record myself singing Lord knows what. I was always drawn to it. And I was lucky enough, again, growing up in the city, to have access to wonderful teachers and classes and cool experiences where I could start learning the craft at a young age. I think musical theater is really what initially drew me in as a super passion.
Okay.
And then my love of plays grew, my love of film grew. And now I'm trying to get into voiceover. I love playing with that. I don't have a ton of experience with it yet, but yeah, I like storytelling. Okay. I love, there's so much meaning inside of telling a story. And I, as an audience member, get so much from going to the theater or watching a film. So I like to give that back.
Sure. I have two more questions for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you like. I love all of these big cast members. What is your favorite play?
Oh,
that's a hard question. Like, favorite, that's always like a challenging thing. But what if you go to, you're going to die, you get to watch one play. What is it?
Oh, that's a horrible question.
It's a horrible question. I know. That's why I wanted to ask.
Horrible question. I'm gonna divert that slightly and just name something that I absolutely love. I absolutely love August Osage County. Because that way I get to avoid thinking of all the plays that I've loved for my whole life. That's one that I don't think I saw it until maybe 2008. But yeah, oh gosh, what a beautiful story. Tracy Letts is such an incredible writer, and just dysfunctional family drama. I mean, who can't get inside of that, right?
For sure. Yeah. Okay, I have one more question.
Chekhov too. Anything Chekhov is the seagull. Yeah.
Cool. So earlier we were mentioning Kelsey had said she loved dogs, but she's allergic now. I'm doing a spoiler alert. Just so you know, you can actually work on allergies, and it is possible you will lose this allergy. So my question to you is, if this allergy goes away and you work on, petting a dog once a day and maybe twice a day, get a larger dog and more fur and dander, what's the one dog you would own if you can get over this allergy?
A Shiba Inu.
Wow, that's the dog I'm trying to get for sure.
They are wonderful. They're spicy. A good friend of mine, I watched her Shiba Inu mix for a week. I just love their personalities, and they're so cute. But I like that they're sort of more independent spirited. They're not necessarily the most obedient dogs, and I kind of like that they have their own agency in life.
Yeah, it sounds like they're the cat of dogs. Actually, that's usually how they're.
They are the cat of dogs. Yeah, maybe it's a balance thing.
We're talking about the whole cat thing. They are the cat of dogs. So nonetheless, Pat, sounds like you do like cats. They just have to be Shiba Inu. So
yeah,
that's all the questions I had. So why don't we have Christy go for it? Christy, you got any questions for Kelsey?
Yeah, sorry. This kid is going crazy. So if you just see me doing random shit, I apologize. Oh shit. I'm so sorry. My brain is everywhere. What was your favorite project to work on?
A couple of years ago, I did a production of Holy Ghosts at Urban Stages, which is a wonderful smaller space on 30th Street. It was such a fun show. Really in a lot of ways an ensemble show. And, you know, it's a play where once your character enters, you are there. I mean, you might hop off stage for a heartbeat, but like for the most part, you're just completely on stage. And it was such a wonderful, my character didn't speak very much in the play. She sang a little bit and had a little bit of the little monologue. But just having to craft 2 hours of experience, especially when you're not speaking as much. And the entire thing is like real time, a church service happening. And it's about snake handling Pentecostals, which is also a really wonderful, rich world to explore when you wouldn't otherwise find yourself there. Yeah. And the play has a lot to speak to about sort of acceptance and standing on your own 2 feet and faith. And I loved it. It was such a wonderful experience. I did it with a company called Theater East, and they're fabulous people. So I think they have an online production coming up. Check them out. Good people. Yeah.
We'll have to do that. And okay, so you mentioned everyone has family drama. What is the most dramatic thing that's happened in your family?
Oh my, that's a dangerous question.
Oh, wow, Christy with the hard hitters.
Oh, I mean, I know my family's batshit crazy. So, how about your family?
Yeah, I mean, my family, my immediate family is sort of smaller network in New York City. My parents are in recovery. Yeah, so we're all kind of on that journey together. Yeah, but they're kicking butt. They're taking care of themselves, and it's a big journey. I think everyone can sort of identify with that sort of idea in that, we're always working on ourselves. And I think in my family, that's sometimes a more prominent thought. But who are we without the meat of our experience, right?
Very true. That is awesome. You're
well
such
said.
a positive person. I appreciate your personality. So,
thank you.
does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. Personal development is super crucial, and I appreciate your take on that as well. Fellow thespian here, and I know that as a high schooler, I would have loved some insight on how to deal with all of the rejection and scary things that surround acting in New York in particular. I've been watching Marvin from afar. I've heard some of your stories, and I've tried it myself, and I know it's difficult. What do you do to keep your head up, to keep that personal development going, and keep the positive thoughts and vibes going?
Always try to be in a class. Always try to be in a class or in an environment where you are being pushed to work on the craft, because it is rejection after rejection. And you always are needing to be better than you currently are. Like, you never get finished, and you're always changing and growing and getting older, and who you played when you were 15, even if you were the most brilliant actor then, is going to be very different than when you're in your 30s and you're sitting in that age group. I always try to get back into class. It's something I really lost touch with, because it's very easy to get in the I'm auditioning and I'm filling my time with all the work we do and the sort of striving and moving forward. But there's something when you get rejected, when I have this place, this safe room where I get to go experiment, screw up. There's no stakes other than my growth and these wonderful people that I'm in a room with doing that activity. So yeah, that's the most important thing. It took me a few years into my sort of post-collegiate experience to really hone that habit again, because I was always in class when I was growing up. Whenever I don't have a contract on the horizon, I try to be in a class. And if I have time for both, I try to do that as well. And there's always, you learn something new from every teacher. You have teachers that you want to see constantly. And then you have other teachers that you're like, I should work with them for 5 weeks. I should see what I can get from that. No matter what sort of training lineage you come from, there's always something to be gained. That's what I do.
Awesome. And then I have a two-parter, and then I'll concede the floor. So for those of you who don't know, when you get into acting, one of the things you have to develop is what you have to, identify with what your typecast is. So my question for you, my typecast is villain, by the way. I get it all the time. But what is your typecast? And if you could play an opposite, what spectrum would you choose to go? Like, I myself have several, a lot of people have that, but, we're trained to audition for our typecast, go where we know we're needed.
I think I tend to peg really well into sort of either the offbeat or the messed up girl next door. So I land in the girl next door kind of ingenue spot, but not like, I'm not a soprano, I'm really a mezzo. So, in musical theater, I tend to be more of like the Julia Gulia as opposed to the Julie in Carousel, But yeah, in film, I tend to go girl next door. I think I'm sort of moving into young moms and that sort of thing. But I tend to get not sort of your type A girl next door, but your type B. Yeah. And if I could do an opposite, oh man, I want to be Mrs. Lovett. Like, I want to dig into all of these, like the old woman in Candide,
yes.
Like all of these meaty, ridiculous, haughty, like determined and steadfast women. I love those characters, and I'm just not right for most of them. But if anyone is watching this and wants to decide to cast me as Mrs. Lovett in like 7 years, I would love that. Yeah. Or like the sort of saucy, like I'm thinking mostly musical theater in this moment, but the like saucy Sondheim women. Yeah.
So many.
Well, Kelsey, we'll make sure we'll submit this podcast on Actors Access.
Oh, thank you.
After you're done with the show.
I'm aware that it's not right, but if you want to roll the dice. Good question.
Thank you for answering it for me.
I'll hop in here. So thinking about like your acting bucket list, if there was like any either dream project or person to work with in the future, what would that be?
Ooh. I was just having a moment last night. My roommate was watching, I think, The Closer, and Fred Willard was on, and I was like, I wanted to work with him. I'm still grieving. Oh, what a wonderful talent. Well, I want to play Dot in Sunday in the Park with George. And I want to play her soon, so I'm feeling really connected to that role lately. Who do I want to work with? Oh, on that note, I would love to work with Mandy Patinkin at some point in my career. And I've started following his Instagram, and I highly recommend, if I grow old with a partner, I want what they have, he and his wife. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to work with like a lot of the sort of older, wiser actors. I think there's a lot to be learned from people who have sort of been around the block a few times. Yeah.
So my other question, it actually kind of makes me think of the TV show from MTV called Made, where like you would be made into something. Like, is there a career or a job or something within the role that you've always wanted to play or would really enjoy learning more about so that you can play it?
Oh, I think something legal, some kind of like legal episodic show, something like that would be a lot of fun. When I was growing up, I had one class in high school that was just called law, but we would look at like Supreme Court cases, and I got super, I'm still super nerdy about it. And like when a decision comes down, I'll like actually find it online and try to read it sometimes when I have the time to dig into like a 50-page complex document like that. Yeah, something like a cool judge role or a cool lawyer role. I think that would be really fun. Yeah.
Right.
Or something totally obtuse like that, like, an architect, or I don't know, something that I would never consider, because I think so much fun is to be had in exploring a role when you have no preconceived notion of what that is, and getting to do all of that research and all of that sort of homework really lights me up. So yeah, I think that, whenever there's a character that is far from you, I think that's good fun, or far from your experience. And you have to learn things. It's a constant education, which, I don't know, who wouldn't like that?
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering those. I'll let somebody else go.
Okay.
Well, when she says she'll let someone else go, there's only me left. So
Hey, don't.
Thought of something else.
thank you, Kelsey. Thank you so much, Chelsea. So, Kelsey, I'm gonna put you in the director's chair. Okay, you've got the director's hat on. Okay, and you're directing a movie about yourself. I want to know who plays you, and what style of that movie will it be? What genre? Is it going to be a romantic? Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Go ahead.
I would love to cast an actress like Brie Larson to play myself. I also love so much of her work. So, and we share hair color, so that's always fun.
That's important. That's important.
It would be like an indie film. Like it's comedic and dramatic at the same time. But definitely not like a glossy, highly produced. It would be a little indie. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. My next question for you is, if you were to go and watch somebody, do it what they do at their prime, they could be dead or alive, who would you want to watch and just soak in all of their knowledge and wisdom? I stumped you. I'm sorry.
That's a hard question. Well, I feel like there's so many answers that, off the top of my head, I'm like, who would I? And then
I'll give you who I would.
She's alive.
Say it again.
Glenn Close.
Oh, okay, good.
She's alive, but she does the work that I want to do, that I am trying to do and do sometimes. She's worked in musical theater and film. I watched most recently her film on Netflix, Hillbilly Elegy, I think is what it was called.
Yes.
Yeah. She has such a way about her work. I would love to see her process. I would love to sit down and get to know how she attacks the text and what her process is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's a great actor. She's a great actress. Just the way that she does her roles and how she just goes all in 100%. I'm not saying other people don't, but you can tell when somebody is dedicated and devoted, and they do so much research and they put amounts of stress on their body just to embody that role. She's really good. I love Glenn Close. That was a good pick. Absolutely. So that's all the questions that I have for you. I do want to know, do you have a background, or is that actually your wall behind you?
That is actually the wall in this room. Yes.
Awesome. Can you kind of explain what? I love the picture frames, but there's no pictures in there. What's that all about?
It's a mystery to me as well. I'm actually in a sublet right now, and it's my friend's room. I like it. It makes me feel. I have a stand-up closet here, but there are all these bookshelves. I feel like I'm in a library. I feel like I'm in the common room, and there's not a lot of sunlight in this room either. So it's very tuck in with the book.
I know. I love the whole setup. It just looks like I like thriller and mystery movies. Oh. And it just looks like you're set up for something to go down right about now. All right. Thank you for answering my questions.
Oh, thanks for asking.
Kelsey, we know you got to take off pretty soon. You have a reading to go to, but we want to thank you for hanging out with us today. We wish you could hang out with us for the whole show, hang out with us a little longer, but thank you for coming on and sharing with us. We really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone out there does too. And we want to wish you the best of luck. And here on Artist Spotlight, we do the last word. So is there anything on your mind that you want to share with any young actors out there or the people? Any words of inspiration? Anything that's on your mind? Anything you want to plug?
Oh, I love that. Well, first of all, thank you all for having me. This has been so lovely to come chat with you guys. And I look forward to getting to know all of you more and to hanging out with you sometime soon, Marvin.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can work together on something very soon.
Yeah. What would I say to younger actors? Keep going. Keep going. In the moments where you might doubt yourself, go back to your training, dig into your craft. If you can do anything else and be happy, do it. And if you can't, fight like hell. Yeah. And just, I hope everyone stays safe and healthy during this time. It's a crazy world, but we're going to be back. And I know I had a moment the other day where I was like just yearning to be in a theater.
Yeah, I had that feeling too.
We're going to be back soon. And thankful for all the sets that are in operation right now. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. And you're right. We're going to bounce back and come back 10 times stronger. I want to thank you for coming on the H2G podcast today. And I want to thank you all out there for listening. And definitely be on the lookout for Family Pride. Congratulations, Chelsea, once again for nomination for Best Actress. You are watching the H2G podcast. We'll be back tomorrow at 7.